says economist Professor William Boateng is warning of an increase in tax avoidance by businesses. This follows concerns about the implementation of the 3 key tax measures required for an IMF deal, as well as government's revenue mobilization policy for this year. Professor Boateng has been speaking on PM Express Business Edition.
Since our O-level and A-level days in the late 80s and 90s, we've been talking about expanding the tax net, and we've been expanding it, and we have not stopped expand, but we are not getting what we want. It means there's something that we are not doing right. Let me tell you, when you talk about 13% tax to GDP, 13%, I ask myself, what goes into the 13%? There are so many payments that the public, citizens, you and I are making, but government is looking at the tax, the VAT, the corporate tax, the income tax, and so on. Almost all agencies in government are becoming authority. And when they become authority, they are supposed to impose some fees or charges on the industry that they regulate. And those charges and fees come to them, and they have to manage it. So for instance, if you take the tourism industry, I have realized, and I have been told, and I've also looked at it and spoken to industry players, there are as many as 13 different taxes, levies, charges, and what have you. But it doesn't go to a point where government will be able to manage and say that this is the revenue coming from here. So government will just look at what comes to the consolidated fund and say that our tax continues to be 13. So when government raises the tax again, the same people who are paying as many as 13, can they pay the 14? Can they pay the 15? And the moment we have so many taxes, people begin to avoid.
Do you think that these recent tax measures will fail to bring in the required revenue?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. I mean, we have a new excise tax, we have this, we have that. I mean, if people are paying as many as 13 different charges, fees, taxes, then you bring a new one, people will avoid it. What measures have we taken to minimize or plug all the leakages that we have in the system? Have we been able to do all those things? I am happy that the exemption bill has now been passed. Now it's exemption tax. How are we going to implement it to ensure that if I bring something, I will not go to Minister of Finance and say, exempt me from this, and I will not pay tax? If we are able to implement some of these things and minimize the leakage, we may realize that the taxes that will come will be quite sufficient.
Some are saying that there will be a pickup in, is it tax avoidance? It's not legal. The people will be avoiding some of these taxes because they will get more tax consultants to avoid some of these taxes, and we're not going to get the revenue tag. And that has serious implications for the recovery of the economy.
And the literature gives you the Laffer curve.
Yeah.
The Laffer curve, the moment you introduce so many taxes and so on, it will get to a point where you have so many taxes, but then your revenue will come down. And that, if you don't take it, that is where it will come